everybody, welcome back to another episode of No Hit Points. It probably sounds a little bit better now.
I put my pants on today.
He did. I mean, I was editing without pants if you saw our Instagram page, but that's kind of irrelevant. We're playing Volgarr! Or, I'm playing Volgarr. I've had this game for like ever and have yet to play it. And it was kind of Ron's idea.
I, for one, had not checked out the Instagram page, and now I really don't want to.
I didn't put the actual picture of me without pants. But, whoa, what the fuck?
This game has got an awesome art style.
It does. I like it. I mean, it's taken me a little bit to get used to, like, the controls, but...
For those of you that don't know, Microsoft just came out with this on their Games for Gold promotion for this month. So all of you with the Xbox One, like moi and Franck, actually get this game for free right now.
Yeah? Oh, Jesus!
That was brutal.
This is a pretty brutal game. One thing I've realized, though, I was going through as I was editing all the videos, and I was laughing. Because I'm sitting there and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, I sound like such an asshole on these videos because I'm just sitting there the entire time. And I'm like, what the hell's... Oh, damn it. Wow.
Wow, you floated and died. And came back as a skeleton for a minute.
What? I'm enjoying this game already. This game's now got my attention.
The game is great, but I'd rather hear more about you calling yourself an asshole.
Well, if you think about it, like, every video that we did when we first started, if you're from, you know, Bad Dudes, Turtles in Time, whatever, like, every 2 seconds I'm sitting there, and I sound like a complete idiot.
Well, I mean,
I can't,
still do.
Yeah, but I can make valid points. I can be smart. What the... Alright, I got a helmet now.
You turn into the Blue Bomber.
The Blue Bomber?
Mm-hmm.
Like, man?
Mm-hmm.
Just with a helmet with horns?
It's blue. Alright, you
Well,
lost
there
your
it
helmet.
goes. Well, there...
Oh,
Alright. Ah, dude.
Dude, you are horrible at this game.
Shut up. It's not as easy as it looks.
You're like me and Bad Dudes.
Oh, dude, that was quite terrible.
It was quite terrible. So, you know what this setting reminds me of?
What?
That I just started DMing my first Dungeons and Dragons
Oh,
campaign.
yeah? You were telling me that you were going to start DMing for a couple of guys that never played before.
Yeah, and I had played D&D a little bit, but I was mostly, when I got into this with some of my friends who were always been into the RPG stuff, they got me into World of Darkness, which is the more modern
the modern D20 game rather than the more traditional Gygax version.
Yeah, and you know, I like D&D, but I always liked the more modern stuff a little bit better. But these guys had never played it before, and they had asked me to DM their first campaign, which I thought was pretty awesome. So we started. We have 2 sessions under our belt already. They had so much fun in the first night that they came back the second day.
They came back like literally a day later?
Yeah.
Nice.
It wasn't even a full 24 hours. Like, we gotta come back and play more. So.
Wow, that was a very unnecessary explosion for a plant.
Yeah, it really was. So, the whole week leading up to this, to the first session, I'm getting everything ready, looking up the rules, because we're playing 5th edition.
Motherfucker.
Dude, you really suck at this game.
That spider... I didn't know how the spider was going to attack it, just... Meh.
It's a spider in a game. They jump.
They don't jump in every game.
They normally jump.
Whatever. Don't give me your judgments.
Come on, man. Fantasy tropes.
If you know what, from now on, here's what we're gonna do. If I die, I'm passing the controller to you. You go.
All right.
You can see how easy.
Excuse me while I take a sip of my Powerade.
You can see how easy Volgarr is. See? Fucking.
All right. What are the controls here?
A is jump. X is attack.
That's it.
That's pretty much it. That's all I got. X and up throws your spear.
So.
That's a good start. That's a good start.
Yeah.
See, like...
So the jumping is delayed.
The jumping's delayed, and if you if you try to attack and you're still like using an attack, you won't turn around right away. You'll just keep standing, looking in the same direction. It's not as easy as it looks. Like, I kind of like it though because it puts a little bit of a challenge into the game because you gotta like. It's sort of like the first Castlevania. You gotta plan accordingly if you're gonna do something.
So let me continue here because the story gets even better. So the first night in the campaign, I honestly was not expecting this because in my outline for the story, this was a very quick night.
Yeah.
Well, I have a friend who has decided to play a bard. I died.
Nice.
All right, you're back.
All right, here we go. My turn.
So I have a friend who decided to play a bard, but he wanted to do it under one condition: that his lute was enchanted.
Okay.
And sounded like an electric guitar.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, that sounds fine. I mean, it could be funny.
It's a little bit weird, but
yeah,
it can bring about some funny stories.
So I have them all meet up in an inn, and before the night's over, after they had met each other, they split up. You know, some of them go to bed, some of them leave the inn. You know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Well, my one friend Gary says, before I go to bed, I want to roll to see if I find some hot chicks because I want to get laid in my first D&D session. I'm like, all right, okay. So he rolls and finds three people in the bar, and the one was this tall human female. Tall human female. So she's playing the lute, and she's surrounded by all these guys. And I described the other two chicks. One was a bar wench, and she was just, you know, working. And the other one's like this intellectual half-elf, just reading a book inside of a bar and shit, you know.
Okay.
Typical fantasy bar.
Elf bullshit.
Okay, you can call it that.
Whatever.
Well, before Gary can even attempt to swoon these ladies, Pat, my buddy who's the bard, Pat.
Yeah.
Decides to interject on this part of the night, and he says, before Gary can do anything, what I want to do is kick down the door to the inn,
okay,
and start immediately riffing Dragon Force on my lute.
And that's supposed to score checks playing Dragon Force?
So he kicks in the door to the inn.
Yeah.
And he's freaking just jamming. And oh, my turn.
Yeah, your turn.
So
I thought that was a checkpoint.
Oh, jeez, this game is brutal.
It really is.
So
it's giving us the business.
He's riffing Guitar Hero
Guitar Hero.
So he's loot heroing fucking Dragon Force, and he's got it playing on his phone on YouTube.
Okay.
So he wants to stroll up to this human female and swoon her with the song.
Tall human female.
Tall human female. So I make him do a check, right?
Okay.
And he botches the one roll to play and move at the same time.
Yeah.
So he's starting to tumble. Well, that didn't last long.
Death by bees.
Are we gonna get past the first stage?
Maybe. Probably not in this episode.
So he tries to roll to save himself.
Yeah.
And the whole thing. So he rolls a natural 20.
Wow.
So he trips. He trips, but he catches himself mid-fall, does a tumble towards the tall human female.
Tall human female.
Winds up on one knee, not missing a note of Dragon Force on his mystical lute. Instantly seducing the tall human female.
I don't know why that became a thing, but it did.
It did. It's all because of you. Well,
you're welcome.
Gary sees this and he just claps. He's like, wow, okay, you win. So he goes over to the bar wench and says, you, me, my quarters, now, bring the beer. Rolls a natural 20. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. 20's all over the place. So he rolls a 20. I tell him, okay, not only is she she's all good for this, she brings her friend.
Oh.
So he's like, all right, this is good. Well, Pat wasn't done. He's like, this night's cute. This night's going. So Gary's up in his room and he's about to do his roll for performance because you never know if you're going to be good or not. With the come on, man, bar wenches, they're expecting something.
A little something.
A little something. So the next thing he knows, his door gets kicked in by Pat and the tall human female. Both of them playing the lute, and they're playing Iron Maiden.
Okay, now
you're interested, right?
Now we're getting somewhere.
Well, immediately, because the performance was so good for the song and the act of what he did,
yeah,
the bar wench's friend says, "Screw you, I'm going with him." So now, at the moment, Pat's about to have a threesome. Well, Gary sees that the bar wench is thinking about leaving too. So he tries to persuade her not to leave.
Okay.
He botches and says, "I only cared about you. Screw your friend." And she goes, "Care about me? You just met me, idiot," and leaves. So Pat.
Yes.
So now Pat's standing there in the start. Ooh, there you go. He's standing at the doorway to Gary's room, and he goes, "I'm not done." And he rolls, and he goes, "Gary, get out. I'm commandeering your room for a foursome."
That's great.
So he stole all three chicks, Gary's room,
and
the next morning, he's like, "Listen, Bard, that was interesting, but you do that again, and I'm gonna hurt you." And they roll. I have them roll for a wit of words.
Yeah.
Gary fails again, not having a very good session of rolls.
Doesn't sound like it.
And Pat's Bard thoroughly humiliates the shit out of him in front of all the women, and says, "You better not come back to this inn again, because if you do, we're gonna kick your ass." This is the women. So that's how my D&D campaign started off, with one of my characters literally humiliated, and the other character who just had a foursome.
Sounds good.
And I was expecting the night to just go, "Okay, here's your mission, go to bed, we'll start in the morning." That's not what happened.
That's not what happened at all. On the next episode, maybe we'll learn more about your D&D adventures, or is that about as good as it gets?
No, because the second campaign had plenty of ones.
Had plenty of ones.
Plenty of natural failures.
Alright, guys, on the next episode.